Superiority of Vedic concept.
Hare Krishna, my dear devotees. Welcome back to the Bhagavatam Chronicles, the podcast where ancient wisdom meets modern dilemmas. Today we've got an episode packed with controversy, cosmic debates, and of course our favorite demon king Hiranyakashipu. Let's start with the question, if NASA and Srila Prabhupada walked into a debate hall, who would win? Well, science versus Vedic knowledge, who's got it right?
Vedas, timeless, revealed by the Lord, hold truths that science cannot afford.
Well, stick around because things are about to get spicy as we dive into 7th Canto, Chapter 4. Now, science versus Vedic authority. In this chapter, there's the big elephant in the room addressed. Why did Srila Prabhupada trust the Vedas over modern science?
Sages spoke wisdom, pure and divine, beyond human flaws, through sacred design.
You see, Srila Prabhupada had at least 3 solid reasons. Number 1, Vedas are divine downloads. Unlike scientific theories which keeps changing, nobody really knows the right source.
While science may falter, shift and revise, the Vedas endure, eternal and wise.
Vedic scriptures are revealed truth from the Supreme Lord. Think of it as an ultimate God-certified knowledge. Shastram Brahmani Nishtitam. So, Srimad Bhagavatam 4th chapter, it very firmly establishes the point that the Vedic knowledge is transcendental. Why? Because it's directly coming from the Lord, authorized knowledge. The second reason is that pure intentions, because these saints and sages who wrote the Vedas, who compiled the Vedas, they were not looking for grants, or they were not trying to bag a research paper or get a Nobel Prize. They were self-realized souls who had no hidden agenda. Vedanta krit vedavit eva chaham. So Bhagavad Gita 15:15, basic knowledge that Krishna himself declares that he is the knower and compiler of the Vedas. So it's not subject to human bias. And the third point Srila Prabhupada relies on that is because consistency is the key. Science keeps revising its models. But Vedic cosmology, it's been rock solid for a millennia. Srila Prabhupada himself was educated, modern education as well. He had a college degree, which he sacrificed and gave up. At the same time, he was very well versed in spiritual knowledge. So he understood these differences. And so next time somebody tells you Pluto is or isn't a planet, just remember Srila Prabhupada probably knew that and he saw that coming. In other words, if we study carefully the purports of Srila Prabhupada, we actually see how intelligent, how deep, how future-minded Srila Prabhupada was. Now, next is the billionaire's problem. Okay, why was Hiranyakashipu so miserable?
Hiranyakashipu, the almighty and bold, found no joy in his treasures or gold. A heart steeped in greed, forever unkind, left him restless, with peace hard to find.
We may wonder, Hiranyakashipu had it all: power, wealth, domination over the universe. He sounds like Elon Musk on steroids. And yet, he was so miserable. Why? Because material desires are like trying to fill a bottomless pit. You keep throwing money, power, success into it, but you'll never actually feel satisfied. So, maybe sometimes we have some experience. We wanted something so badly, and when that thing, we get it, becomes like, oh, get it off me, I don't want it anymore. That very thing we wanted so badly becomes such a problem. So true fulfillment cannot come from material things. It doesn't come from yachts and private jets. It comes from spiritual realization. So in this chapter it is said, Natha parama yad bhavata swarupam. So there's no greater truth than the Supreme Lord's personal form, personal understanding, personal spiritual realization related to the Supreme. So now there's a whole big question about, then why do we have to go through so much pain and suffering? Why does God put put us through so much misery.
Misery humbles, though bitter it seems, breaking our pride and shattering dreams. Through pain we turn to the Lord above, seeking His shelter, His mercy, His love. Lord's promise.
Now, can suffering be a blessing? Well, nobody likes misery, but let's be real, it's often the only thing that wakes us up. It humbles us, it shatters our pride, and forces us to seek for something higher, to look into something deeper. So if life were just a series of all-you-can-eat buffets and Netflix marathons, would we ever look for God? Probably not. So the point is, Hiranyakashipu, though he was mighty and bold, he found no joy in his treasures or gold. A heart steeped in greed, forever unkind, left him restless with peace hard to find. Now, let's get to this point about big promise. What's the big promise? The promise is that when Krishna says that, Supreme Lord himself, right? Krishna himself says that enough is enough. That's the divine showdown. Hiranyakashipu wasn't just your everyday bad guy. He was ruining the balance of the universe. He didn't want devotional service to prevail. So he was disempowering the cosmic order, divine order. And he stopped sacrifices. He started torturing the brahmanas. I mean, his atrocities were really off the charts. So when things get bad, then Krishna steps in. So now we may say, wow, in spite of all this torture, there was this little Prahlad. And Prahlad is glorified because in this chapter 5 basic qualities comes up why he's a spiritual rock star. Why Srila Prahlad Maharaj is the spiritual rock star.
Prahlada's virtues shining and bright, devotion and tolerance, a guiding light. With wisdom and love, his heart was pure, humility and peace.
Number 1 is devotion, because even when he was tortured, he never wavered. This kid had more faith than most of us have in our Wi-Fi connection. Matir na Krishne paratasvato vamito bhipadhyeta graha vratanam. So Prahlad Maharaj is very, very clear. Real devotion doesn't come from material world. Don't waste your time. Don't be so stupid. And but it comes through the mercy of the Lord. It doesn't come from these mundane accomplishments. So the devotion was very clear. The second point is his tolerance. Imagine, okay, your dad is trying to kill you every day and you still respect him. That's next level patience. Titikshava karunika suhridam sarvadehinam. So third canto Bhagavatam says how a saint is tolerant and truly compassionate. And that we can really, really see in Prahlad Maharaj. When I experience some difficult circumstances where I need even basic tolerance, it is so difficult, even after studying so many Bhagavatam verses and hearing from examples and stories. The tolerance level is really tested. So Bhagavatam is also about practicing it. When I study something, when these things come as a test, more than writing a Bhakti Shastriya, Bhakti Vaibhav test, it is when these circumstances come and stand in our life, on our face, how we deal with it. And then the third biggest quality for devotional service, Prahlad definitely demonstrated his humility. He never saw himself as
His
special.
heart was pure, humility and peace, his soul's signature, like a child so trusting.
So Prahlad Maharaj declared that I'm only a humble servant, I'm nothing else, I'm nothing significant. It comes later in the 9th chapter, he declares that. So now wisdom. We may be tolerant, we may be humble, right? That's one thing. But what about wisdom? This 5-year-old boy had more spirituality than most people learn in a lifetime, or even several hundreds, thousands of lifetimes. Bhagavat Pada Sevayai means he learned one secret, that the only Only by performing pure devotion and service can one attain true wisdom. So he was constantly in that mood. Then the other fifth quality that makes Prahlad stand out is compassion, even for his enemies, right? Who does that? Parha dukkha dukhi. A real devotee feels the suffering of others as their own. So that's why. That's why the Lord stepped in to protect Prahlad. And he doesn't come to protect me when I'm crying over some false ego issues. So when someone has a faith like child, pure, unshaken, full of trust, surrendered, not entitled, then Lord has to respond. The Lord had promised to end the strife, to restore dharma and preserve life. Hiranyakashipu's sins crossed the line. The Lord appeared in his form divine. Prahlad's virtues shining and bright, devotion and tolerance a guiding light. With wisdom and love his heart was pure, humility and peace his soul's signature.
Hiranyakashipu, though mighty and bold, found no joy in his treasures or gold.
So, before we wrap up, here's your food for thought. Do we trust science blindly, or do we explore timeless wisdom for deeper truths? And are we chasing material success like Hiranyakashipu, or are we finding inner peace like Prahlad? Can suffering actually be the catalyst for our greatest spiritual growth? Yeah, that's what Bhagavatam says. So this has been the Bhagavatam Chronicles for today. If you've enjoyed today's episode, share it with a friend. Give me some comments. Until next time, seek the truth, embrace humility, remember Prahlad Maharaj, and also some truths don't need revision. Alright, Hare Krishna.
Through pain we turn to the Lord above, seeking His shelter, His mercy, His love.